Jimmy, hard-fought 2-1 victory in your end. What are your thoughts on the performance?
Performance was rusty. Performance was a bit sluggish, but we've played one league game this month. It's just been quite unique. You know, to play one league game in November is that's not happened to me in 35 years of football. So, yeah, it was my concern that we'd be a bit rusty. You can train all you want, but nothing better than playing games. So yeah, that was my concern, that we'd be a bit rusty and a bit off it and distances and stuff. And that was the case, that we weren't quite to our levels, a little bit undercooked. But I'm glad it's done now. The lads have got out of their legs, back in the rhythm, and ultimately you win the game.
Started brightly with two very different goals. The first, Charlie Austin, showing that classic predatory striker's instinct, but the second, a scintillating counter-attack. I mean, I'm sure both goals please you equally as much, but yeah, certainly there was a lot for the fans to cheer about in that first 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, we started brightly, moved the ball well, got our chances. We had two chances before we actually scored the first, to be fair. Luke Alex had one cleared off the line. So, yeah, it's a nice bright start, which I expect. But the sort of sluggishness just sort of crept in and we got a bit deep, which I didn't like. But they came through. They're a tremendously resilient group, and they had to be resilient today.
The visitors had a lot of the ball, and in the first half, and for probably the first half of the second half as well, it felt like we were fine with that. We were keeping them in check, and then obviously going down to 10 men, and then that is always going to invite a little bit more pressure. But it was a real gritty defensive performance with all hands to the pump and everyone tracking back and putting a shift in.
Yeah, I expect that from them when that moment arises. I expect them to do that. Yeah, the sending off is absolutely mind blowing again. It's really bad, and for the first time, actually, as a manager, I've offered the referee the opportunity to watch it back, and he's declined it, which is disappointing because, you know, people should want to try and get better and want to see where they've gone wrong. But obviously, he doesn't. It's poor. It's really, really poor. So, but you know, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to take it on the chin, and your players have to respond and stand up and be counted man for a man, and they did. They were brilliant, and immensely proud of them. But that kind of behaviour is expected with the group that we've got. So yeah, we got put in a position we didn't deserve to be put in, but we dealt with it.
Obviously, we've got a very different task now, having the first team not really having a full game for 3 weeks. Now we've got a 3 days turnaround up against Chertsey on Tuesday. So how do you approach that, given that coming into it in very different circumstances?
No, I think they're looking forward to that. I think they'd rather go Saturday, Tuesday, if I'm being honest, rather than have the breaks that we've had. I think that they would much rather do that, and they're looking forward to Tuesday already. We'll do our work as we always do. I was at Chertsey Merthyr on Tuesday night, and also, you know, the what we've got on them. So we'll be prepared, we'll be ready. We've got that little bit of rustiness and you know, sluggishness out of our legs from not playing for a while, and today will do us a world of good. And so we're looking forward to being back here on Tuesday night, and we've just got to keep plodding along, not worry about what anyone else is doing or how they're doing it, just what we do and how we do it. And like I said, tremendously proud of the boys and the spirit with which they dealt with the adversity that was given to them, and the resilience and grit that they showed to see a game through.
On the bench, had a couple of, I'll say newer faces, in the sense that they've just not necessarily been available. Ben Jefford, we haven't seen for a while, and obviously
you don't want to see that face very often.
And then obviously Toby Stevens new in as well. Yeah. What can you tell us about him?
Toby's a young boy that burst on the scene as a 17-year-old in the National League at Yeovil, played in the National League South several times, and like what happens sometimes in football, people's careers, for whatever reason, and no one really knows, just seem to sort of peter out, and no one can understand it. I know why. I've had a good chat with Toby about why sort of a year or so ago he kind of fell off the map, but I'd had a little look at him earlier in pre-season where he was playing, scratching my head as to why he was at that level, and then had him watched a couple of times, and sort of we thought that we could possibly get that player again that was 17 years of age playing in the National League, and hopefully with a bit of work and a bit of confidence for him and belief, we can get that player back out of him, and so that's why he's here, and we're delighted.
Lovely. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Great, see you Tuesday.
Thanks very much.